So now you talk about the legacy and the love coming through the game changers, as well as speaking from your heart. Just talk us through a bit more about those, how they actually came about and how they've flourished in the way.
Okay, so that nicely segues actually, Alex, into the fifth L, which I didn't mention, and that's loyalty.
Loyalty, yeah.
And loyalty, and what I mean by that is to thine own self be true. Be loyal to yourself. Swim against the tide. I've never ran with the crowd. I didn't know why. Now I understand why. I think it was George Best who said once, if you want to be a conductor, you have to turn your back on the orchestra. Or on the audience, the audience. If you want to be a conductor, turn your back on the audience. Because you're facing the music, the musicians. And that brings us in being true to myself, because I think my life's evolved, Alex, where intellectually or rationally, this is like, Paul, what are you doing? I've been labelled from a very early age, misfit, weird, antisocial, crackpot, crazy. All these, I grew up with this. It's like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I knew I was different, but then again, we're all different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because I don't run with the crowd or do what people tell me to do because they want me to do it, I need a better reason for that. I need a deeper reason. Is it going to contribute? Is it going to spread the word of love? Is it going to help people? Now I'm listening. But if it's just for your own self-gratification or boosting your ego, quite frankly, I'm not interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
So using that as a platform, Alex, from what you've brought in about speaking from our hearts, one of the things that I learned from a very early age is that learn to speak from your heart, speak your truth. Some people are going to like it, some people are not going to like it. The bottom line, so what?
Yeah.
It's your truth. To thine own self be true. You are the only one that matters in this world, because without you being the very, very, very best you can be, you've got nothing to give to anyone else anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which kind of brings in that example of put your own oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
Now that's challenging and it's contentious, but I absolutely get the principle of it. I need to look after me first before I can give you anything. Be that time, be that emotion, be whatever, even money. I need to have it in my pocket, which is actually a slight contradiction, because I got myself in a lot of debt by funding initiatives, charitable initiatives that I couldn't afford. I borrowed the money on credit cards and that kind of thing because I believed in the cause, and I didn't have the wherewithal to pay it back. So when people say you cannot give what you do not have, it's not strictly true, because I did for many years.
Yeah, I think that's probably another big topic, isn't it? Around, what do we have? Because at some level, there's abundance in the world. I mean, you only have to see the stars and people and everything. It's everything is abundant. So in a way, everything is there. You can't give. And giving is, like you mentioned, it's all in different sorts of ways, isn't it? And the money part is another element of that. But it's just amazing to understand all the things that are out there in the universe, and how we can bring everything together. So I guess. Moving forward, I guess, we go through these, your life, learning, love, legacy, and the loyalty. In terms of the sort of overall higher picture, because as you know, as people, in a way, we're always evolving. There is always a higher level of consciousness to attain out there. The things that we understand now may not be the same in 20 years or 50 years time. We're always striving to grow. And that's why, you never judge anything that is happening. It's probably people at different levels of consciousness and understanding. So for you, what does the future hold, or what does it look like? What is the vision other than emitting and giving love to people? Or how does, or what does the vision look like for you, for humanity?
I could go very, very deep on that, Alex, and I think that is a whole new topic, and another time, another place. But what I will say is, I surrender to source. I surrender to source. It's not about me. With World Game Changers, which is escalating and becoming, a good thing, and a big good thing. And people say, Paul, well, it's amazing what you're doing. No, please. It's not what I'm doing. I am an instrument in the process. And there's a big difference. Rather, it's quite flattering to the ego when people throw those metaphoric Paul this, and new books and World Game Changers, and and a new forest planted in Ghana, and or X or Y or Z. I do consciously allow it to flirt with the ego for a couple of moments, because we are humans. Well, that's a part of our makeup. That's a part of our identity. That's a part of our awareness in this role that we play, but we are a trillion times more. So it's about having that balance between observing, who am I now? Even in this conversation, what am I saying? Which part of me is saying that? Am I getting excited and really going back into the good old ego days? Alex, and did I tell you I scored that winning goal at Wembley? And did I tell you? And it's like, whoa. Does that matter? What's that doing for humanity? That kind of thing. So to answer your question, Alex, a very broad, I surrender to source, because there is a higher power. Now, for some, and that's not for me to put on the table what that is, because I personally have come to know that is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, relationship we can ever have. Now, for some people that will be God, for some people that will be spirit, it will be universe, it will be higher power, whatever that is. And for those that doubt that, I always use this example of this amazing contraption here, which I think most of us have got nowadays, called the mobile phone. So we've got this simple, not so simple gadgetry. I mean, this thing more or less does everything but cook the dinner, and I'm sure you can find an app that will cook the dinner for you as well. That's beyond me. How simple hello goodbye does me. But the point is, Alex, is part of a story, because we use metaphors in stories, don't we? If we go back to biblical times, Christ spoke in parables.
Absolutely.
And I think there's great power in that. So going back to the mobile phone, an amazing piece of technology, whatever you want to call it. However, it is extremely limited, because it needs something external to control it. It needs me to dial a number. It needs me to press the call button. And I'm talking, but that's only half the equation. So I'm talking away. Hello, Alex. Yes, Alex. No, Alex. Blah, 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 blah. How's the goldfish? How's the cat? How's blah, 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 blah. Alex, are you there? Alex, where are you? Alex. The battery's gone flat. Damn. Okay. The mobile phone is useless. The metaphor there, Alex, is we're like mobile phones, because without plugging into an external source, we're powerless.
I see. Wow.
Part of that journey of, a higher power, a bigger power, call it what you will, is finding out what that source is on that voyage of discovery, because that really, really power charges you to then surrender and serve. And that's really the best way I can kind of, at this level, without going really, really, really deep. That's an excellent question you've just asked.
That's brilliant. And in a way, that the level of consciousness as well, isn't it? When you understand that it's not about you, you're just a vehicle to sort of help other people as well on the way. Just talk us through a bit more around the game changers that speak from our hearts and what they are, maybe for some of our listeners who are not very familiar with them, how they can get involved, and what's the process is around those.
So I formed a movement called Speaking from Our Hearts, because basically that was a metaphor for truth. To thine own self be true. Speak your truth. It's going to land with some people. It's not going to land with others. Who cares? You're speaking your truth. You are living your life to your full potential about you. Whether it's your mother, your partner, your children, whether they approve or disapprove, actually becomes irrelevant. You know, my kids, I've got a fantastic relationship with my 3 kids, but they think I'm nuts. They think I'm crazy because they don't understand the world I live in. And that's fine. It doesn't stop us loving each other and respecting each other, which we do immensely. But we're different. And the world's big enough for difference and diversity. It's fine. It's great. Embrace it. Don't fight it. Why do we need to fight? We don't. I spent all my life fighting, or the biggest part of it. It gets you nowhere. It's a waste of energy. Completely. So I formed this movement, Alex, called Speaking from Our Hearts, because it was exactly that. Learn to speak your truth from your heart. And what fell out of that was a podcast. So I called the podcast Speaking from Our Hearts. I created books around it. There's currently 5 volumes out. There's going to be a maximum of 10 volumes. There's 5 out at the present moment in time. Around, where people share their stories, anthologies around a given topic. So the one that's coming out on the 1st of October, for example, is about embracing uncertainty. So people share stories about how vulnerable they've been in their life and how uncertain because of X, and this is how they got through it. So, but then I realized actually Speaking from Our Hearts was kind of a metaphor for awareness, and awareness is phenomenal. But on its own, it's not enough. We need to take action. We need to marry awareness to action. Then we've got something really powerful. And that was the basis, Alex, for 14, 15 months ago, forming World Game Changers. Because I've come to know that each and every one of us, whether we're aware of it or not, is actually here and now at this moment a world game changer. You know, they may not be doing monumental things with schools in Africa or planting forests in Ghana or whatever it is. But always remember that simple smile to the stranger. And people say, well, you know, the little things don't matter that much. Do they not? You try walking around with a pebble in your shoe and tell me that little things don't matter. Because you'll be in pain. And it is the little things that matter. But I think, you know, such is the media expectation of society in general, Alex, that everything's got to be big, everything's got to be grandiose, everything's got to be blockbuster. No, it hasn't. To quote John Major, let's bring it back to basics.
And that's an amazing way to put it, actually, isn't it? Because even when you look at success and people who have achieved bigger things, in most cases it hasn't just been an overnight thing. It's the little things that you're doing consistently over an extended period of time. That's what makes the bigger things. So that's a great way that you put it, actually.
So you look at the success of the 2012 Olympic cycling team with Sir Dale Brailsford, and it was exactly what you've just said there, Alex. You know, just we've got a routine, and we'll make a marginal. They talk about it in football these days: marginal gains. But that 0.5 millimeter, compounded over time, grows into 1 millimeter, 5 millimeters, 10 meters, 100 meters, 50 miles, whatever it is. You know, and it's about those little incremental, but we've lost sight of that, I think, as it's from humanity's perspective. So, you know, World Game Changers is now formed. As I say, it's 14, 15 months old. We've got a global tribe. It's growing by the week. And it's very, very simple, you know. So yes, there is a mission statement. Yes, there is a vision statement. But I sum it up very simply, Alex, by saying, and one of the great guides in my past great influence has been the late great Dr. Stephen Covey. Most people know Dr. Covey from his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
Probably less or fewer know about his 9th habit, and it's very simple, and it's been a monumental guiding light for me, Alex, and certainly the catalyst behind World Game Changers. And his 9th habit simply states, leave the world a better place than it was when you got here.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a powerful message. That's a powerful message, because in a way it culminates into everything that we do, isn't it? If you have that level of consciousness and you're thinking, what is it that I'm doing now? Is it leaving the world in a better place, whether it's making that person smile or helping them with their shopping or whatever, or, looking after the planet by, not doing some things that are harmful. So that level of consciousness is, amazingly key, as you put it. So absolutely amazing, Paul. I'm sure, from your great wisdom, I can spend the whole day speaking to you, and I'm sure I haven't even tapped in through, just been a small percentage of the things that, your level of consciousness and things that we can share, but it's been absolutely amazing. So for our listeners who would be interested to maybe get in touch with you or hear more about you or tap into some of your resources, how can they find you or get involved in some of the initiatives that you're doing?
Thank you, Alex. And, I want to say at this stage, it has been, and yet again, I know this can almost sound cliche, but I really do honor and really deeply appreciate this opportunity to talk to you. You've hosted this, you've given me your time, you've given me your facility, you've listened very, very intently, and I really do respect that. And I just sincerely hope that, your listeners, take just one useful thing out of it. So I honour that time and space you've given me, Alex.
Yeah.
Thank you. To go over to my contact details, probably the 2 primary websites. So for my more commercial side of things, my mentoring around purposefulness is www.paul-lowe.com, paul-lowe.com. And for the World Game Changers, the charitable, the community side of the growing tribe that's evolving, that's worldgamechangers.org.
Yeah. So that will be www.world,
gamechangers.org.
Yeah, changes.org. That's changes with an S, yeah?
Yes.
So be gamechangers.org, yeah? Absolutely. So that's absolutely great, Paul. I'm sure there will be a lot of interest from our listeners to sort of get in touch, join the community, see how they can also, put up their story, because a lot of people, there is all this element of comparing ourselves with other people's, and Paul's story is so amazing. Mine will just be dwarfed. It's nothing compared to what so and so has gone through and what this person has gone. And then in the end, we just sit still and just watch and admire. But every story, like you say, is quite unique, and you never know what element of your story will actually move someone in a way. That's why I guess there was a story of a preacher who, was expecting a big crowd to turn up, but only like 1 person or 2 person turned up. But he still gave his, sermon and preached it just as enthusiastic as he would have done with 1,000. And that 1 person who took it ended up spreading it to the masses, because, it's just the little seed. You never know where it goes. So it's absolutely imperative that whatever the story is, we absolutely share it and spark that love to people, and just in the same way that you give as well. for me, absolute pleasure as well. You giving your time as well to actually speak to our listeners and spread the love and everything that you've shared with us. So it's been an absolute pleasure for me, and I'm sure this is not the last. I'll be part of the World Game Changers and the community to speak from their hearts, and I'll actually join you in spreading this message and level of consciousness with people, just so, like you put it, to leave the world a better place than we actually found it. So it's an absolute pleasure speaking to you, Paul. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast today.
And maybe, Alex, the fact that you've hosted today and given that space, what about Alex? What about Alex's story? Because we haven't heard too much about Alex's story, and maybe this is a great opportunity for Alex to come on World Game Changers podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I wouldn't say turn the tables, but actually, turn the tables. Let's hear that story. And then listeners, you talk about that word compare. Well, there should never be any comparison.
Yes,
I think it's a trait of human nature that, we kind of do like to compare, but not from any point of view of comparison, Alex, but to just, okay, this is the world of Alex, because I want to hear it for a start.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, it will be an absolute pleasure as well to come and speak from my heart, share my story, and if I can touch someone somewhere, spark that light, it will be an absolute honor for me. So thank you very much for the invite, and let's sort something, and it will be an honor to share my story as well.
Immense gratitude once again, Alex. Thank you so much.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Paul. So enjoy the rest of your day, and an absolute pleasure again speaking to you today.
Okay, speak soon, Alex. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.